And the government will not borrow to pay delayed salaries for civil servants. President William Ruto says the government will rely on collections from the Kenya Revenue Authority, saying his administration had abandoned the old tradition of seeking loans to settle recurrent debts. And in what now paints a gloomy future when juxtaposed with the rosy campaign promises on development, the president further announced that they were scaling down on expenditure of development projects to enable what he termed as a government that lives within its means. Chemutai Goin starts our broadcast with that report.
The president broke his silence over the delayed payment of March salaries for civil servants, albeit without committing to the period within which the matter would be sorted. The president only clarifying that his administration did not intend to take up a loan to pay the dues owed to the workers, some of whom have threatened to down their tools.
I know we had an issue of delayed salaries, which is somebody said it is the first time that we are having delayed salaries. Yes, it is the first time we are having delayed salaries. But it's also the first time we are having such monumental debts. I want to assure the country that that is managed. We have turned the corner.
Counties which are yet to receive their equitable share funds this year have been forced to take up overdrafts to pay their workers and keep the engines running. And despite the concern over the state of the country's economy, the president took a reassuring tone.
We will not continue the old tradition of borrowing money to pay recurrent expenditure, to pay salaries. We are going to pay salaries from our own resources.
As the government crunches the numbers to have the best possible scenario, the president revealed that they were working to lower the budget deficit to ensure the government spends resources within its means and minimizes the thirst to borrow externally to bridge its fiscal deficit, which currently is at 6.2% of the GDP.
We have moved our fiscal deficit to 5.7%. Our target is to take it to 5% next year and 4.4% the following year, so that we can work within the parameters of the resources that we can raise as we grow our own tax revenue.
And in a bid to encourage taxpayers to meet their constitutional obligation, the president directed the National Treasury to audit the existing tax framework and review punitive clauses that promote defaulting.
There are some taxes we certainly are going to reduce in the coming budget, because some of the taxes are punitive and they actually encourage more dodging than paying and compliance, so that we can make it much more easy for citizens, corporates, and all the people that work with us to comply with taxes.
While directing ministry, state agencies and departments to only prioritize viable and budgeted for projects that have value for money, President Ruto indicated that many of the ambitious and new projects had been set aside until adequate funds are acquired.
The 910 billion worth of projects that were already in some form committed, we've scaled it down. We have shaved another 250 billion out of that, so that we can stagger the projects, deliver on the ones that are of immediate, already started and rolling, and then do the others later, because we have to live within our means.
The government has lately come under sharp criticism over its priorities in light of the scarce resources. The president's chief economic advisor admitting that there was wanton wastage. The president reassured Kenyans that he was hands on deck and that the ship will stay afloat amid the rough seas.
We are well on course in running a stable economy that is not dependent on unnecessary, excessive borrowing.
The country's financial soundness continues to dominate conversations. Many Kenyans afraid of the rising cost of living, worsened by the rise in cost of basic commodities. Chemutai Goin, Citizen TV, Nairobi.